Hello, my name is Reese Fritz, and I am doing a deep dive into The Garden of Earthly Delights by Hieronymus Bosch. So, a quick introduction. Bosch was an artist during the 1500s, and he created very surrealistic paintings. And this is just works of art that are very unrealistic, very dreamlike. He actually inspired Salvador Dali, who is a very famous surrealistic artist as well. So he implemented his Dutch culture, as he's from the Netherlands, into his art, which made him stand out from other artists. And the Garden of Earthly Delights specifically was not found until after his death. So it did not get popular until after he died, which is a little bit unfortunate. Before I get into the details, this is the overall painting itself. So this is a 3-panel painting, and that is called a triptych. And when the panels are closed, this image is displayed. So from the looks of it, it is just a sphere, but after deep diving, it is found that it is actually God's creation of Earth. There is no vibrancy and no color, but it is found that is because Bosch wanted the inside to pop more when it's opened. So to begin with the painting itself, the left panel is this photo right here, and it depicts Adam and Eve and God all talking. From the looks of it, you wouldn't know that is Adam, Eve, and God, but after deep diving, that is who they are. And all around them, there are weird creatures that wouldn't exist today, and different types of structures, whether they're buildings or plants. There are also very bright colors throughout the whole painting. For the center panel, as you can see, there's a lot more going on and a lot more to look at. Still very bright, still very surrealistic. There are nude people all over the painting, and there are also some people in orbs, as you can see right here. Some believe that the people in the orbs may have been Adam and Eve. That is just a hypothetical thinking process, but there's still a lot to dissect. This is the actual garden itself. And again, very dreamlike, very bright to look at. Fun fact, this painting specifically is starting to flake off because it was not taken very good care of after Bosch's death. Finally, for the right panel, as you can see, this is just a very different perspective. The colors are not bright at all, and it is very nightmarish. It is very gloomy, and this is essentially the representation of hell. So there are weapons and creepy creatures just crawling all around. So to dive a little bit deeper into the actual painting itself, Bosch used oil paint to create this work of art, and during this time, oil paintings were not really a thing, so he kind of helped get the ground running for oil paint itself. He also used oak wood panels as his canvas to paint these paintings. The whole work stands about 7 feet by 13 feet tall, and he used a transparent glaze to help reserve it and also give a soft, cleaner look. Essentially, this painting is the representation of humanity through time. So it's telling a story through each panel. It starts with Adam and Eve and ends with hell. And people believe that this is just the progression of sin. And if you do this, then this will happen, and it will eventually lead to sin. So Mr. Jansen stated, it expresses the fears that dominated life in the Middle Ages. And I think this is a perfect explanation as to what is going on, because in the third panel there is very random pictures that can depict fear, as there's weapons and just creepy images. Behind the story of this painting is the religious aspect of Christianity. So God, Adam, and Eve are congregating in the first panel, and throughout the actual painting itself, there are hidden Turk's flags, which people believe are the enemy of Christianity. And this work was also created during the Northern Renaissance, which was way before our time. Okay, getting into Feldman's methods of art criticism. I've kind of talked a little bit about this as we've gone through the painting, but from first looks of it is just the description of what you see without any background information. So when you open it, there are 3 panels that depict very dreamlike scenarios. When you close the panels, it's just a sphere, and very dull, very black and white. Going deeper into the painting itself, so from the first looks of it, I thought that Bosch used a great sense of balance. As you can see here, this is in the middle panel. There is a building structure of some sort in the middle, and then on each side there are 2 other buildings. This provides a sense of balance, as one side isn't overweighed, and it creates a sense of coherency, even though this work is not really symmetrical. He also does a great job of attracting the human eye through emphasis. So by using bright colors and creating bunches throughout the painting, even though there's still a lot going on, the eye still finds a way to get distracted through other aspects. And even though there's a lot of chaos and a lot of congestion, Bosch still finds a way to implement space. So this is just an example of that. Still stuff going on, but not nearly as much, and kind of a sense of just emptiness compared to the rest of the work. When talking about interpretation, again, it is just the repercussions of sin. So Adam and Eve sinning will lead to hell, essentially, is what Bosch was trying to portray. And because this is just a depiction of life on earth, it is through the New Testament, and there's a lot of religious controversy through this meaning, because Bosch was never alive to actually explain his thought process. There's not a 100% certainty as to what was going through his mind. Personally, I would not hang this painting up in my house, but it was very interesting to dissect and read about, as I did not even realize that this was a triptych work of art, and I would not have found that out unless I researched. There's a lot of hidden aspects to look into, and finding out different aspects and different definitions helped understand the work as a whole even better. Before I wrap up this presentation, I wanted to just talk about another triptych artwork that Bosch created called The Temptations of St. Anthony. So again, another 3-panel work, and this is telling the story of St. Anthony and the temptations that he experienced through his life. Not as surrealistic as the Garden of Earthly Delights, but still very detailed and a lot to discover. This is just a quick panel overview. This image is the first panel, and from first looks, it just looks like men carrying each other, walking with each other, in a very dark field, desert-like area. It is actually St. Anthony being carried by 3 other men. In the middle panel, this just looks like a congregation of citizens and people talking and watching a stage of some sort, but it is actually St. Anthony kneeling towards the audience and the viewers, and in the back there's a burning building and smoke, dark smoke. This is depicting the temptations that Anthony was experiencing through images. Lastly, on the right side, this is depicting a man holding a book and looking away from the book. This is actually St. Anthony reading a Bible, and he's looking away from the Bible. There's also a nude woman staring at St. Anthony, and this is believed that St. Anthony is looking away from his temptations. He is trying not to get distracted by the temptations that are right in front of his face. When the panels are closed, there are 2 images of Jesus Christ and the scenes that Jesus Christ endured. So the first image is essentially the arrest of Jesus Christ and the punishments that he went through, and then the second is the carrying of the cross. So all in all, Hieronymus Bosch is a great artist who uses very, very intimate detail through implied lines, and he is great with texture, especially in the Temptations of St. Anthony, with the building and clothing just all over, just a lot of detail, and you can really see the amount of work and concentration that he put into the overall work itself. Through the surrealistic aspect of his work, he was able to create his own shapes and creatures that just add a new element to his artwork.